All right. Get my earphones on. Actually, I don't need these, I don't think. Won't do me any good. All right. See, we got Monica in the house, bearded a little bit. Glad to see you on here today. I didn't know any specifics to talk about today. Just thought we'd get on here and talk about whatever's on our mind. Oh, it looks like as far as I know, that how you doing there, Ren? Karen? Looks like that civil trial yesterday is going to be postponed until January, so I guess we'll get to hear all kinds of things about it between now and January. Teresa, I see you're on here too. Tank Girl. Glad to see all of you. I did watch two leads to see what was going on with the civil or no, the protection order up there and coming out of Ohio from Jeremy and his significant other, I guess. They sure had a lot to say, but it was kind of hard to believe everything that come out of Jeremy's mouth. That's for sure. He does a lot of hesitations in there. How you doing, Sylvia? Yeah, postponed. And everybody pretty much thought it probably would be. At least the lawyer was there, so we know that John and Michelle have representation now in that case, and they should get a lot better or fairer shot than they've had in the past. For instance, I've had better weeks, but I'm holding it together. It's been a busy week for me. Even today, I got up early. I was up at 4:30, and I've done a load of wash and let the pets out let puppy out a couple of times today. I went and got some groceries this morning. That's why I didn't have coffee today or coffee on here today with everybody. Seems like there's always some little thing to do that I don't want to do. Ren said I've lost two uncles this week and family friend. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It's hard to lose people who are close to you. I can tell you that for sure. Ed's on here. Good morning, Ed. As far as anything else, the weather isn't real bad out there. It's in the 20s here in Iowa, or at least in my part. John, how you doing this morning or this afternoon? I'm so used to thinking it's morning. I've been up too long already. I've already got a full day in. Oh, well, John, I'm glad you had representation yesterday, but it's a shame you can't get on with the trial, that's for sure. Having that hanging over you, and then what I don't understand is how they can continue the PO all that time, and it's their fault for not being able to continue. So, Jenny, I see you're on there. Noreen, good afternoon. Beard says he needs a round of prayers, so everybody pray for Bearded. Yeah, Ren, I understand. Sometimes when you lose dear friends like that and relatives, it is a different world out there. Everything changes, and it's forever. That's the hardest part until you meet up again, and you won't meet up here. Oh, yes. Prayers for Bearded and Rin. Rin has had some people pass away, some uncles, friend. We all know how hard that is on you. I went through a few years just before I retired where I was losing my uncles and my aunts and a lot of old friends. It seems like about retirement time, things pick up speed and you start losing the people that you love the most. Yeah, Bearded says he's got some surgeries ahead of him. I want to wish you good luck there, Bearded. I hope everything comes out good for you. I've had good luck on the surgeries I've had to date, knock on wood. No, that truck that was here the other day, I haven't heard any more about it. That pickup truck. I went out and I looked around. They didn't walk around my RV, or my trailer out there, the travel trailer. So apparently they didn't get out of their pickup. So I don't know why they were sitting there. They were actually in my driveway, I guess. You just have to. People do that kind of stuff. Usually they're dumb enough to come back if they've got ill intent. So eventually we'll find out. And like I say, the police, they've been watching my house a little more. So mine and some others here. Okay, Anida. I hope I'm doing that right. Silva. Anida Silva. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, phonic it out a little bit so I can. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, I know, Jenny. I've got to get some cameras up. I'll have to either order some off from Amazon or hire a company to come in and just give me a good system in here. I want to get one that records, into like a mainframe inside the house here, but also that I can get on it from my telephone so that if I'm gone, it'll send me a notice if it picks something up. Separate spray or skunk smell to go off like Home Alone. That's a good idea. Only thing is, if skunk smell don't go away very quick, I'd have to live with it afterwards. Yeah, some of them aren't too bad. If I get one though, I want to put it in a pretty decent system. Some of them end up being a little grainy, and they don't do a whole lot of good about when you're trying to identify somebody. Ed said I didn't even go to sleep until 6 this morning because Nine Chins kept me up, and I won most of his trivia and wordy games. Okay. Edie says I. Now, how do you, Edie? You're right, John. It does suck when we had to put surveillance systems in our property because of these maggots. I didn't worry about it until we started getting vehicles coming by that normally aren't here. It didn't make sense. It's a small town, and most everybody here knows of everybody else, and most of the time they don't bother too many. How you doing, Linda? Steffi, I see you're on here. Nice surprise, working on getting my tree up so I can listen as I do. Okay. Yeah, probably, I don't think I'll put a tree up this year, but I might put a few lights in the window or something like that. I'm not going to go too far with uh, decoration this year, I don't think. Ed said he saw John come on there on Nine Chins after he was leaving. Well, if you were leaving at 6 in the morning, that meant John probably was just getting up, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, heck it is. These people out here, they go bonkers when you put a camera up. They think we're spying on them. I guess you could call it spying if you count out we're taking pictures of people that are harassing us. That's all. I'm amazed at how they try to turn the things on John and Michelle over there. They've got a couple of security cameras on their fence, and all those little minions out there say, well, they're spying on Jeremy. It's like, yeah, we're right. People are so silly, and they think we're so dumb that we're going to listen to them and believe what they say. What a bunch. It shows you what their IQ is. Stevie said, I have an autistic grandson who lives with me. Yes, Grammy, when you doing the tree and lights, so I best get her done. That's probably true. It's a big deal this time of the year, especially for children. They love to see all those bright lights, and they know what it brings as well. Pebs, how are you doing there, Pebs? Glad to see you came on. Today, I'm going to try to keep it to an hour. I've been letting it run quite a while, on each every time I've been up, and I need to kind of put a limit on it so that I don't take everybody's time up, and I don't want to stall your days out to where you're having to run to get caught back up with what you were doing before you came on. We just don't, Johnson, we just don't have a couple. We've got quite a few all around the property. Yeah. John, it'd be hard. I would have a hard time going through what you've gone through. And people come from everywhere to come in and bother the two of you. That just don't, to me, it don't make sense. And I don't know why people are so mean-spirited to do that kind of stuff. What possesses them to drive across the country to go bother somebody, or sit on the other coast out there and call CPS? I have never heard of anything in my life like that until I seen it done to you guys. That is a first. And for somebody to do that didn't know firsthand what's going on is absolutely BS. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh, yeah, there you go. How are you doing? I'm sorry I missed you. I was sitting there talking and not paying attention to the chat there. Yeah. Mainly, I'm trying to let you guys bring things up to talk about, mainly because I'm kind of tired. I'm trying to get back on my feet a little bit, and I am getting a little more sleep, but it seems like the more sleep I'm getting, the more tired I am too. And I'm not sure why. It might be because of the early hours I'm starting to get up. I do feel good, Big Jim. A lot better than I did. And the doctor said I'm back to normal on my lab tests. So I don't go back till next year. Oh. Steffi said she may have a bad cold. My daughter's got a bad cold right now. She was going to be here. Her and her husband were going to be here this week, but she was too sick to travel. So as soon as she gets better, she's going to come over for a visit. What was I thinking? To talk away, Ray. I'm listening. Okay. Steffi said she's going to email Robbie. What was that all about? Yeah, Robbie got pretty excited for a little bit yesterday. I don't know why, but they like to say things about Robbie that are absolutely incorrect. I mean, it's so far-fetched it don't make sense. Oh, eat good. That's the trick, Sylvia said. I've been eating a lot better, and I do. I buy a lot of frozen stuff, but I'm talking about frozen stuff in a bag, a lot of stuff. And I got away from the frozen box dinners more and more as time has went on. I like the stuff in a bag because you can throw different things together, throw it in the skillet, put the lid on it, and your meal is done fairly quick. It kind of steams all together. And you can season it the way you want. Steffi says she was sleeping in the office chair when he came on to say it scared me. Spit out my would-be mild. Yeah, when he came on there, it kind of woke me up. It's kind of hard to get Robbie going like that, but once you do, he's upset. You could tell that he was. It's a good thing one of those yo-yos wasn't within arm's reach. Oh, yeah. They were on there. It gets me. I know he's reading off from a list down there, but he goes over things. The things he's talking about, most of it, he's went over it for the last 2 years. Pretty soon, I don't know why he even bothers to write it down, because he should have it 100% memorized, but it's very apparent that he's looking down at something all the time. And he trips over his words a lot. I noticed that when he was talking, when he was getting to the stuff that was a little bit far-fetched, let's put it that way, okay, he would stumble a little bit or repeat it. And, they claim that I'm senile, right? Well, this guy gets on there and he'll say part of his sentence and then go right over it again. I would say that's the beginning of senility, if there ever was. Oh, heck. He said you just stopped in to say hi and hit the old thumbs up, but got to leave. Oh, I'm sorry to see you leave. But one thing about it, you can always come back and watch it later. I don't do a lot of editing or anything like that on any of this stuff. Whatever's here is here. Noreen says air fryer, oven, toaster, countertop would be a big help. I actually have it's a microwave that's also has the capabilities of like a toaster oven and also of an air fryer. It's a combo, they call it. It takes care of like 6 different pieces of equipment. Now, the problem is, the microwave part of it is very fast and everything else is a lot slower. And I'm not very adept at going from one to the other. You got to keep hitting buttons. And then if I go out and buy each piece of equipment, then it takes out the whole countertop probably. But slowly but surely, I'm learning a little better about how to do it. A lot of times, and I do have a crock pot. And believe it or not, I do ribs in a crock pot. I put them in there and I round like this. and steam them a little bit, during the early part until I get them to where they're just about ready to shrink down on the bone. And then I start putting the sauces and stuff on it. And then I finish them off in the oven to give it that little bit of a, where it starts browning the sweeter sauce on it. And they usually come out pretty good. They're good and tender before I actually throw them in the oven. And then the sauce, I usually make homemade sauce. It goes down in there. And I've used different marmalades and mixed them with things to use as a sauce over the top. Shell Bell says, we all have memory problems or issues finding words as we age. You are definitely not senile. Thank you, Shell Bell. I may have to use you for backups. Most of my memory problems are more, if I get forgetful, it's more, sometimes I don't care as much about something as I may have when I was younger. And it doesn't matter whether it's my billfold or phone or what. A lot of times I put it down on a shelf. I got a shelf out in the kitchen I put stuff on because I don't want to carry it in my pocket. And since I retired, I don't need it until I leave the property. So, a little bit says, good afternoon, everyone. Got the kids and grandkids here for the weekend. I'll be in and out. Okay. Oh, let's see. The kids will keep you going, that's for sure. This is good, easy, simple, healthy meals. That's a good way. By the way, I did finish my pecan pie off the other day. So when I went and got groceries, one of my favorite pies is coconut cream pie. So I did pick up one of those. And, I pick it up, it's frozen. I throw it in the refrigerator and it thaws out. And, 45 minutes later, you can just start eating on it. It says, I don't feel that good, but I'm glad Reza makes my day feel a little better. Oh, I'm glad, Bearded. There's been a lot of days where you made my day better too. I want to tell you, especially in the last few months. It's a pleasure knowing you, Bearded, and I really welcome you on my channel. And I love to see you on other channels too. I know you're always there looking out for the betterment of everybody out there. You're a good friend. You sent an email. Did you send it to me, Bearded? I'll have to look. I haven't looked at it for a couple hours. What was I thinking? I said, you've been under some stress, Rave. And she says, if I'm stressed, I struggle with memory. Stress doesn't equal senility. Yeah, the stress I was under, just like well, I described it at first like being in a fog, and that, I guess that best says it. And now I've transferred into that part where it doesn't seem real, because I have this feeling that my wife is here, inside I have that feeling. And then, I know she's not. It's just another step in, is what I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm somewhat comfortable with the way things are going, and and the pieces are starting together, coming together. I'm doing the things you have to do to exist. Like, I don't care what's buying groceries or sweeping the floor with a vacuum or shoveling snow outside. Or the most pleasurable part is the pets, obviously. If one isn't bugging me, the other one is. So they're always after my attention. Let's see. It's just I gave Ray 2 thumbs up now that I've switched accounts. Okay. Thank you, Ed. Oh. Oh my goodness. Those Christmas trees can get confusing sometimes. I know. The one we had, I call them a box tree, but we had to. There's different times where we had to take something apart and put it back together. I give that tree to my daughter. We had a couple more where they were always together, not as big, and the lights kind of stay on. The favorite one was one that's kind of a blue tree, and it's 4 foot. I'll have to look in the storage room, see if it's in there. I might go ahead and put that up, because that one you just take out of the box and set in the corner. It's kind of a pretty tree. Yeah, you're right, Pibbs. Yeah, Georgie. She's something different. Georgie Porgy. She's not very original, that's for sure. Something tells me she wasn't very popular most of her life. She certainly doesn't make things brighter around here, that's for sure. I didn't find out who was around my place. If it's somebody from town, it won't take me long now. I'll probably just kind of get in my car or truck and kind of drive around a little bit and see if I can see who it is. Whoever it is, it's the second time they were here. And more than likely, they'll come back again, and they'll eventually, I'll figure it out. My neighbor didn't get the plate, but they're going to keep an eye out for me. Maybe by then, maybe I can get a camera out here on my garage in the corner of my house or something, and pick this stuff up a little better. Oh, heck. Helen, I see you're on your, I'm glad to see you. Yeah. One thing about those people, and I realize they don't have a whole lot of fun in their life. Their main thing is coming on and trying to destroy somebody else, mentally. And that's an awful life to go through. When you think of, most of you out here, you don't have that hate mentality, and you're able to turn it off and be able to be with your family and have a good time. And your intent isn't to be out there on somebody's channel just attacking them. But think about those people that do that all the time, what their life is like. I mean, it truly sucks to have that mentality. Steffi says, is it snowing there yet? We have up to 5 inches headed in this evening. It hasn't started yet. It's they said it's going to be. We're in part of that warning area. That southern part is as bad as just north of me there. And I'm south of 80, about 20 miles. So I'm kind of just below that line where they're trying to cut it off, where that would make a difference in how much snow. I'm hoping I get no more than the 1 or 2 inches. My driveways are clear, and the path out there for the pup is clear. I hate to see it fill back up. That was miserable going out there and using a snowblower out there the other day. I'm getting spoiled. I haven't had to get it out too much in the last few years. Like the way Robbie yells Helen's name. Yeah, Robbie, when he's calling stuff out on his program, he don't need a mic. He's got a pretty loud voice. Sylvia, you got a pellet furnace? Is it reasonable to heat with those pellets? I mean, I know they're ground up and then constituted back together to, and then they're, like burning hardwood. It says people who center their life around hate knocking people down are the most miserable people themselves. That's what I've seen mainly out there. They're people that if they can't get along with others, they have a poor structure for themselves. They're very what do you call it? Their world is a circle as tight as you can get it around themselves. They have a hard time looking at anything in a positive manner out there. You can imagine what happens to them when they get older, when they get up there at age, how bad it is for them. Especially when they finally realize there's nobody going to be around them when they get that age. So he says, yeah, I'm south of 80, about 15 miles. Oh, but you're in the, yeah. One thing about it, if you're 15 miles south, depending on where you are on that 15 miles south, you can always come down and help me shovel my driveway out if you want to. I'm always open to help, like that. Heck. Heck. What we got here? I'll get some of my biker buddies from 20 years ago, and we can play hide and go seek there, Ray. How about that? A good idea. Oh, heck. Big Jim says, my dream is to spend every day on my life in court suing people across state lines for lights. Sounds like a joyful existence. Oh, sure. Hey, Rich, I see you on there now. How you doing today, Rich? What was I thinking? Since the pellet stove, it really heats the place. It's too much for my home. I know burning wood from when I was a kid. That's all we heated it with was wood. And the room and it was a potbelly stove. The room that stove was in was so hot you couldn't stand it, but you couldn't stand to go in another room where it was ice cold either. So, I don't know where that guy is, Rich. My understanding is he said because of the delay in the courts, he's going to have to stay up there another month. Kind of convenient when I think, I don't know for sure, but it seems like ever since somebody said there might be a warrant out when he gets down here, he stayed the heck away from here. And he used to, even when he was up there in the summer, he still flew down once in a while to Florida. So something don't make sense with him thinking he's got to stay up there for the courts. That's a month away. So I guess you can forget about him being down here for Christmas in the creek, huh? Any excuse is better than nothing. And with all the bullshit he puts out there, I'm not even sure why he says anything at all. It don't make sense. Tooley's paid. Gabe said, Ray, how you doing, Gabe? Oh, heck. Gabe's in the house, everybody. Oh, yeah, Richard. Hey, Rich, have you been served? Yeah, Jerem does fear Florida. I got a good idea that he does. It's not that he hasn't upset anybody. I mean, only the sheriff's department, the let me see, the supervisors were pissed off at him a few years ago when he went after the supervisors. Most of the Otter Creek is pretty upset with him. Let's see, the former mayor of what was it, Chiefland. Let's see, who else have we got there? And you know, Michelle and John are upset. They're neighbors of his, and Tina and her husband, they're upset with him. I mean, now it's easier to figure out who isn't upset with him than who's upset because the tables have turned. Lutherman, for everybody out there, Lutherman has not been served. Oh, let's see what else we got here. I think, anybody comes into town and from the first minute they get there, they start making enemies. You can bet that they're not going to change. Their stripes are going to be the same till somehow they get him to leave. And I would be, if I was a betting man, I'd say that his time is getting short in Florida. Leona says, afternoon, Ray. Glad to see your much better spirit. Love it when you smile and laugh. Yep. Things are getting better. And, the routine is kind of helping out a little bit because I was sitting around stewing most of the time. And part of it, my mind just wasn't into doing anything at all other than just sit. And now because of the length of time I sit, I'm having to play catch up. So I'm a lot busier. Luthman said the FBI is involved. Yeah, John, he hasn't been served yet either. That beats everything. Those people there's something wrong up there in Ohio. they're following Jeremy's example. You'd think they'd be smarter than that. Darwin's in here. I didn't see him come in. Hi, Darwin. How much is that schoolhouse getting for the community now? Would you bet zero? Well, from the get-go, you weren't allowed to park out front. From the very get-go. And you couldn't take your Johns and put them out there just because you had them out there for 10 years. You couldn't do that. When he takes possession, you can't trespass. He's one way or the other, he figures out how to keep you off his ground. That's his ground. Nobody else's. He might tell you he's going to share it, but he don't. He's not going to. He's going to figure out a way not have to do. Ed says record snowfall here was about 5 feet in 68 and 69 for that season, but the one-day record snowfall was just over 2 feet in 96. Average snowfall is 10 inches for the season. Wow. Pep says, I've heard the FBI is monitoring all channels involved with Jerem. Well, I'm not sure. I did, on a local level here, I showed him on the computer what was going on. I showed him the different channels that were involved with it. And it didn't take him long to bring them up. So they're pretty quick on the uptake. They're not going to spend hours and hours and hours there watching, but now they know what to pick up if I pick the phone up and say, hey, I'm having trouble. So Monica says it's not the federal bikini inspector, it's the real FBI. You remember when we had some fun with that, didn't we? Talking to the FBI on our computers. Oh Lord. Yeah, Robbie and I talked back and forth a little bit about the inspectors coming to visit us. So that's been quite a while ago. We're going to be getting into that weather again where we might have a bikini inspector come around. You never know, from the FBI. I was planning on making a trip down there in the spring, so you never know. We might have a one-on-one down there with one of those bikini specialist FBI people. They're pretty important in Florida. Get one out there on that white beach, have a nice talk out there, and an umbrella and a margarita in one hand. And I don't know if they let us drink margarita out on the beach though or not. Let's see. Yeah, short driveway. Eggplant germinization. Yeah, I don't know if he can germinate. If I remember right, didn't somebody say that he got cut somewhere some time ago, and he tried to fix whatever it was, and he wasn't able to fix it, so he couldn't fix George? Isn't that what happened? Sometime around when he was kind of engaged or not engaged somewhere. I mean, that's kind of fuzzy back then about how they were talking back and forth. It was kind of like a game. But who knows? It says he can't baptize anyone. He's not an ordained person. I don't know if that guy, he might have a certificate so that he can. I don't know. Remember, he used to preach back for that organization back then. Yep. Big Jim says, Jim fears smart people. According to him, nobody's as smart as he is. I don't know what he's got to fear. Oh, the truth. Yeah, that's right. Pebs, you're right. I should have thought about that. Mary says Luthman is a bad guy. They say psychopaths are less intelligent than the average person. I haven't studied it enough to know. It might be because they think they're smarter than everybody else that they end up being dumber than anybody else. If you don't listen, you can't learn, right? Monica says something like that. Less involved. Yeah, Helen's got it down there. She left. She didn't. She had cancer. She didn't. Yeah, and they come on there and they were berating people. They were saying they made fun of her cancer or whatever it was, but it was them people that kept, she took off that one day and apparently was upset. And then all of a sudden, they said the reason was because she had cancer. And actually, if I remember right, she actually had an appointment to check on her, just like anybody's had cancer. They have a regular basis where they go over it, at least for 5 years minimum, once or twice a year, depending on how bad they were before. And I think she had an all clear the last few times that she went up there. So I'm not sure why they think everybody was making fun of it or claiming that she didn't have it. They know that at one time she did. what they did say was that when she went up there, she was pissed off that one time. And she drove like a maniac when she left town that day, if you remember right. So Lutherman said, I'm the dirtiest player in the game. Woo! Oh, I don't know about that. I would say that Jerem is the dirtiest player. What was I thinking? I still want to see the psych eval. Yeah, well, I can tell you this: the paperwork they submitted to the court pretty much tells it all. And the counselors that turned the paperwork in on his children, they backed up the words that Jason had used when he came on the channel. The things that he said are in writing by a counselor. So, and it's easy to find. You put his name up there in Ohio, and you'll run across the paperwork. I'll guarantee you that. That's all you got to do. Yeah, Steffi. It's been a long time since he spent much time in the church, I believe. I don't know what all he does during the day on Sunday. I just know that by Sunday night, it's more like listening to a lunatic, and that's an opinion of mine. I doubt I'll probably ever change that opinion. What was I thinking? It says, I heard his evil is part of public records. Wouldn't it be fun to publish a psych eval of Jeremy Hales? It would be. The one problem we'd run across is if somebody got a hold of it by accident and it was put out there to the public, he would say that the HIPAA violation, it was a HIPAA violation. And I'm certain he would try to come after anybody that had possession of it until he found out where it came from. Yeah, the people that follow people like that, they have similar problems, just like he does, I believe. You know, the old thing about birds of a feather pretty much runs true on, especially people with bad habits or the way they talk, you know, about other people. They gather a lot of them around them. Yeah, Richard says it's hard for me to sit back here looking at a guy out there hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilt liquor bars from one side of this world to the other than you made, Germ. Jim says, I've got 5 inches of snow, and George is wondering why she only gets 2 inches. Yeah, she's talking about a 2-inch pipe. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo! Okay, Richard. There's a mouthful. I had to slow way down just to give it all out there. Oh. Yeah, I agree with you. What was I thinking? I don't know if it's worship. A lot of people, they're blind and they can't hear very well. And he's reached out and touched those people and brought them into as his flock. And if you ever noticed, it's almost like they're going to pee on his leg, like a little puppy. It's some sort of an adoration for the leader of their cult. Opinion, obviously. It just doesn't make sense to me that that many people, in my mind, can be foolish enough to follow somebody that they can see blatantly doesn't always follow a path of truth. Ruth, I see you're in there. How you doing? Yeah, he does his version of love bombing, and then his viewers, then he switches to abuse. He never used to do much of the love bombing, and that's only been lately. And a lot of that has to do because of the channels like ours out here, where we're pushing more towards helping people. And now he thinks that maybe he can make his people feel better by treating them like some of them are treated in these channels. I don't know of anybody on the channels that I follow anyway that says anything negative about people that are within their channel. And most of them give people a chance to at least say their word. And as long as they don't get so far out of the line that it gets crappy, they're allowed to leave it standing. So yeah, you're right, John. It's the same type of people that do get scammed over a telephone. It's unfortunate. The biggest amounts of money that are giving on YouTube are given to the people over 55 years old. They're the ones that are doing the giving, not receiving. And the takers run anywhere from about, I would say, 30 to about 45 years old. There's a section of that group that is able to talk the older group out of the money or the change in their pocket. The change in the pocket makes them rich. Yeah, the Jeremy is full of negativity, is not good. He doesn't like to be challenged for sure. I believe with you, same, Ruth. And it's a personality thing. He's not the only one like that, but he sure has been able to build quite a group out there right now with that personality. And the people that are follow that type. If it wasn't Jeremy, it would be somebody that's similar to him. And the way I say that is, if you look at the channels that are following Jeremy, that they're not quite as big as his, but these channels that have 50 to let's say 400,000 followers, that are following his channel, have that same negativity going. I looked at one of them today, just kind of like a research. And I looked at some people that were talking about this guy 7-8 years ago. And he was having the same problems with people that have good hearts back then. And they were mouthing the same words that we have been when we're evaluating what he's saying or doing. So that shows that type of person they don't change their stripes. And since it's a good way to make a living, they're not going to change it. And just like all of us right now are involved in the court case, that is going to continue, I think, forever, unless somebody shuts it down, within the legal system. Otherwise, I think it'll go on. Somebody's always going to be the content for these people, and it'll be a hate content. And when I look backwards and looked at this stuff, there were several that come out that have been the same way back. When they came here and started going on this Otter Creek drama, they already had that type of a constitution about them. Oh, yeah. When he took on Guapo, he more than met his match. Guapo is, and I'll give you my opinion here. Guapo is a businessman, and he's got something that Jeremy will never have and he can't buy, and it's called charisma. If you watch, when Guapo goes into a crowd of people, he almost instantly makes friends with everybody he comes up and talks to. It is a gift to be able to do that. And if you have a business head, no matter what, you can fall down as many times as you want, but having a business head and a charisma like he does, he will always get back up on his feet and operate. He will. The other thing is, when he bought or paid off his mother's home, that showed me that he's loyal to his family and that he's not stingy in any way. And those are all traits that Jeremy will never be able to match with him. He will always be able to surpass that guy. And that might be one of the reasons they are not friends any longer. It's because Guapo is overwhelmingly a better man and person and businessman. And that's my opinion. Now, of course, Jeremy's going to say business success is on the dollars he can put away. Well, Guapo probably has given away more than Jeremy's ever thought about giving out of his real self and his money. And the reason I say that is because of the percentage that he has given away and the things that he does do. And he does it all the time, not just one day out of the week, but multiple days. And the people that like him because of those traits. He gains friends, and the other one promotes enemies. It's, in other words, he makes a lot of people aggravated. He grates on their nerves. Guapo, not so much. Big difference between the two of them. And obviously, it's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. It's like anybody out there, you can pick whoever you have opinion on and express it. And I did just now. I took two people and give you my opinion, what the difference is between the two of them. Oh, yeah. She says Megan has her monkeys trained. I think, and again, this is my opinion. I think in that relationship between her and Tug on the media here, that Tug pulls the strings because he gets her jumping and going, riles her up, and she really gets excited on there if you ever watch her. I'd be willing to, and I know the things how she's changed so much in the last year, or even 2 years. I would not want to have her personality. I can't imagine getting up in the morning and looking in the mirror. I just can't if I felt the way she does. And it's too bad. It's too bad. Big Jim says the judge has to be pissed. She keeps getting full days of her time scheduled to deal with drama from Florida. Jerm is stupid to not see that. I don't know, from the very beginning, things that were going on in that court to me didn't seem right. I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm just telling you the results I seen. The legal system isn't always fair, and I thought that was a good example to show for not being fair. That system up there, that part. And it was evident that Michelle was not capable of representing herself in a court of law. And that we, as a country, when we allow the system to be overwhelming for somebody that can't defend himself, that goes against our grain as people. The unfairness of it all. And when they're going over these court cases, you've seen in the last week where he said, we're going to record everything, and anything they say, all these witnesses, we're going to record it, and we're going to use it on them in a court case. That is intimidation, no matter how you look at it. It's out in the public. And yet nothing is or was done about it. Nothing. YouTube has allowed it to go on. And it's not the first time something like that has happened. If people out here, if they listen to his channel, they're scared to come up and give their word out on a channel like mine. They're afraid to come up here and say what they feel. The biggest thing is just say, look, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. That way you can somewhat protect yourself with the Constitution, your constitutional rights. But to intimidate people and tell them that when they go on there into the court, that their words will be used in another court case, that is absolutely intimidation. We have the civil case number 2 coming up, and number 1 isn't finished out yet. And anybody goes up there that is opposing Jeremy's side now has this to point at, saying, hey, look, we're being intimidated. When Bruce made Belothi, or whatever his name is, the judge, aware of the intimidation that was going on, that thing was put somewhere. As far as I know, it has not been acted on. And yet the different things that were said since then and was in that piece would be considered criminal in any other thing. As far as I know, nothing's been turned over to anybody for prosecution in any way. And as long as something like that stands, nothing will be done. If you can't get into the realm of knowing that you're protected by the law for your constitutional rights, and something as simple as a civil trial, which a civil trial, you're not guaranteed a lawyer, because it's not a criminal act, a civil lawsuit. You're not going to go to prison for that. But he intimidates people, saying, I'm going to take your word and I'm going to sue you and use those words that you use there to put you in jail. That's what is on those channels. And it was followed up by all these other channels. And for all of you out there that have been in this case watching it, and you say something on a channel and he decides to pick yours up, whether you're a mod or whether you're just in the channels and you around the different channels. If you remember what he said on one of his shows, that you can't be, you can't be on his channel if you come on mine, or Lisa's, or Robbie's, or Dave's, or Guapo's. This guy is telling his people where they can go and where they can't go. They can't be part of his group if they mingle in somebody else's group. For my own self, the only reason I throw somebody out is because they're not listening to reason and they're trying to say something that doesn't make sense in my channel. And I picked up hundreds of them that are that way and run them down the road. And they've always went somewhere else and complained about me over it. But I've never told them you can't come here because you're at Jeremy's. I've made it very plain make sense, and don't get stupid while you're on here, and you can come on here and talk. I try not to intimidate anybody. That's not why I'm here or what I'm even trying to do. But when I look out at the opposing views, they do everything they can to intimidate not just me, but people that are in my channel and other channels that have the same opinion like mine. When this thing blows up over the weekend, and it will, there'll be stuff on here this afternoon and tonight. Whatever words I've said will get turned and twisted and be talked about. They made a 10-minute thing on their channels, at least on 2 channels, because I was having trouble getting the mic to work on the system, okay? What happens is there's several places in here where you can turn a mic off, and it takes a while to find out where you can turn it back on. And sometimes it's the program you're using itself. If you turned it off within that program, you can do all you want with the computer until you get the program fixed. You're not going to be able to talk on here. Running it down can get to you sometimes. And they make fun of Michelle and John because they had trouble talking on their view, so that they could talk in court. And they don't know what they're having to go through, maybe. Not everybody is tech savvy. Certainly, I'm not tech savvy. So when I get on here and I'm having problems, they're real. It's because I don't know quite how to operate something when it goes wrong. Once I figure it out, then the next time it happens, I fix it very quickly. Most of the time, I try to do some testing on it. Some of the programming I use, I test it before I ever get out there and say anything on here, especially when I'm just throwing a blog up there that's where I don't have a chat onto it. Okay, that's my little rant for the day. Hope I didn't make you too bored. Keek says, I want to know what happened last night. Big Jim says, I was blocked by the German for questioning his eBay pricing before he ever found Otter Creek. Yeah. It says here, he blocks anyone that dares to challenge him. That's true. Gabe is here. Have you all seen the latest post Lisa put up? I don't know, Gabe. I looked at her post before I went live, but if she's put something on since, I haven't seen it, but I'll look. Pep, so we can get Jeebus to 1 million. That would piss off Germ to no end. I've been trying. I've come on here a couple times and said how close he's getting, and he's not very far away. There's every possibility he could make it by Christmas. He's trying hard. If you look at his station or his videos lately, he's stepped him up a lot. So, it says he blocks his members if he thinks they said one word against him. Those idiots still defend him, suggesting it was an error. Morons. Yeah, I know he's been doing that a long time. That way it makes him look like he's clean. I'll go on there and look at it later on there, Gabe, to just see what it was all about. She's going to be live tonight, isn't she? Has it been an hour? Yeah, I was going to try to keep this a little shorter than that. I mean, within that hour thing. Oh, let's see. 2 leads. Oh, Gabe, you saw Jeremy's mugshot. You did? Good. I had seen a document on him. It was his, and it was kind of screwed up. It was a little hard to read, and I couldn't copy it without paying the people that posted it. So I didn't. I wasn't willing to pay them, so I didn't get it copied. I guess I could have took a. It's pretty easy to take a screenshot with other things. Yeah, King Pongo says people would rather believe the lies because it's more interesting than the truth. The truth shall set you free. Stacy said, "Hey, Uncle Ray, how you doing there, Stacy? I'm glad to see you in here." Everybody say hi. Stacy just got in here. Ray, I learned what kind of person he was when he announced on his channel he was the first white guy Martha ever had. That told me exactly what kind of a person he is. Yeah. I'm not sure why he keeps talking about race one way or the other. I don't know if he's trying to make everybody think that he doesn't have negative views of different races. But when you listen or see how he does different things, his self-indulgence comes out, and his views come out there very, very noticeably. Usually when somebody keeps talking about race in one way or the other, you can kind of depend that they are racist. If you truly don't care, you very seldom say anything about a different race. The word melting pot here in the United States. And I remember when I grew up, we used to joke around about different races, with jokes, and took it as that because all of us were open. I mean, we're all Heinz 57, and if you go back in time on any one of us, where our ancestors go back 5 or 6 generations, within my generation, there's a lot of different people that are within that generation. As time goes on, we become a Heinz 57, they call it, like a Heinz 57 pup. Ed says Jeremy lied about Martha having cancer. She has cancer. She may have cancer. She doesn't have cancer. She left me. She didn't leave, but he mocks Preston's mom dying and being revived. Yeah. They use it over and over. What they did is they hounded her so bad in that depot, and they had her so upset she was crying. And I don't know how they got away with it. To hound somebody like that to that extent, to me, it don't make sense. But it's almost like some of these judges turn a blind eye. And that particular depot has been used over and over and over against Michelle. Michelle has trouble with pressure, direct pressure on her, and her voice comes up and she gets squeaky. She's not the only one like that. Most people, when you put enough pressure on them, react identically to what Michelle will. She hasn't had the best life, people. If you don't give her a little leeway, she has a right to life on earth here. Just leave her alone and let her do her thing. My God. Now, I'm not talking to you people in here. I'm just talking about the people that have took on trying to make her life worse than it already is. Let her be happy with what she's doing. And all of you that call her a grifter, And let me tell you something. When you're running a sanctuary, the only way you can do it is you have to ask for money. The government doesn't come in and give you money for a sanctuary like that. She's doing something she likes. She said over and over and over she wants to pass it on to her child. These people out there need to be ashamed. I don't have to be in love with somebody to think that they have a right to be have a spot here on earth. The good Lord wouldn't have put her here if she didn't have a right to be here. So I just wish some of them would back off and leave her alone. We wouldn't have to talk about the fairness of everything. This guy picks on her because she doesn't have the ability to fight him back. And it makes good fodder out there. And I don't know why he can't find something once in a while positive to say. My idea is that he just doesn't want to. I mean, it's out of his realm. He don't know how to say something positive. You know, if Christ was here, he would not approve of that type of treatment of anybody. And that's not saying that everything she does is right or correct or anything, not even close to it. What I'm saying, she has a right to life. And our Constitution says so too. And the morals of Christ says so. Oh. Anytime I chat area like this, my own opinion and thoughts and feelings on the subject. I don't even bother with those airheaded channels. Yeah. Lisa posted today. It's from 2017. Must be the picture. It's probably, I bet it's when he walked into that house when they was charged with theft. Or breaking and entering, I mean. Monica says, I am guilty of believing his something shit, yet not anymore. And when his son said what he did, that sealed my feelings of Jerb. Yeah, Monica, and you can see the written documents that were submitted to the courts that will back up that boy. Or young man, actually. Debbie says, hi, how you doing, Debbie? She says, hi, Pebs, Rich, Stacy, and John. Hi, Debbie. We're listening, but multitasking, everyone. Martha Burrs. Okay. Bearded says, I watch as many of the shows as I humanly can, and that's not because I like it. It's because I keep an eye out for everybody else, and then I pray to the Lord that it stops. Yeah. As long as there's a profit in what they're doing, they're not going to stop. But I think we all know that for them, they love what they're doing. Okay, they love that. And the main reason they do it, though, is they're making money. Beard says his hobby is not expensive. He's getting all the money back from the people eventually, and he's making money on it in his YouTube. So what's better for him than everybody? As long as YouTube allows this type of stuff to go on out there, that's definitely not morally right, the things that have been done. It won't stop. It's this is just going to keep right on going on. The best we can hope for is that we can make it a little more livable for the people that we've tried to help out. That's the best we can hope for at this point. Remember, these people are going to have their judgment day. And in the very end, things that they've done here will certainly be on the docket for them to explain. On here, this is temporary. But eternal life is a whole different thing. and you don't want to destroy it for something temporary here on Earth. That's for sure. I still want them to replay my depot. But John, I did get to see part of your depot when they put it up. It's been quite a while ago. I wonder if it's still up. I have to go back and look because they did do yours. Yours wasn't very long. Yeah, you're right, mother of birds. Yeah, you're right too, Mike. Yeah, Megan got out there and did her exercises. Okay, for breadsticks. Crawling around doing some exercises. Yeah, that makes sense. For breadsticks. And they like to bring up the fact that at one time Michelle was a pole dancer. She was trying to make money to raise her family, but she was honest about it. You tell me somebody crawling around on a floor doing exercises and begging for breadsticks puts them above somebody else that was doing nothing more than dancing? Where's the analogy in that? Come on. The kettle calling the pot black. Oh. Tata, yeah, you're right. Tata is from John. They couldn't trip you up, John. He would only play it when he has no other content. It might still be up, Pebs, but you had to go back over a year. So, John Cook, I saw yours. You were too controlling in your answers and demeanor for them to bother afterward. You don't give them the show of raw emotions they wanted. That's right. John is very few words and to the point, and that didn't fit what they wanted. Oh, heck. Yeah, it's just Tubetown should have been shut down by the town one day. Yeah, I don't know what laws regulate something like that because it wasn't operated for money, so it wasn't a business. And it wasn't a recreation that was open to anyone. It was only open to invitation, as if it was somebody's private yard and they could come in and play with whatever they had there. I don't know if it's against the law or not. What they could have done is they could have put up no parking signs on that road, as narrow as it is, and that would have stopped part of it. Then they had to bring people in the property itself rather than letting them park out on the road. And that would have stopped a little bit of it, at least where it was possible to kind of half-ass block Michelle and John's driveway. If they would have had some kind of a business over there, John and Michelle, and really they had the sanctuary there, it would have made it tough for anybody to come up and visit them. So, well, let's see. Yeah, it wasn't fair when they did that to her. I can't just sit back and watch someone be so cruel to another human. I would wear my heart on my sleeve, I guess. But that was just so wrong in every way. Yeah, that's right, Steph. they actually like that stuff. You know, they relish it. It's the thing that's what's in their hearts out there. They, Bev says almost 1.5 hours. I wish I had to do this all day. You know, I do have to get off from here, and you know, tonight Lisa will be on there, so she'll keep you busy for anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. I don't know what all there's going to be to talk about tonight, but I would be willing to bet that Sunday will be quite a blast. I'm just betting. Now, I haven't been out there to see what these other channels are putting up today. I've been busy, and I've got some things I got to do this afternoon yet. I got to finish the horse that I've got. I've got to cook my supper tonight. The floor needs to be done, and I haven't done it, you know, sweeping it and all that stuff. You talk about missing a partner. And I know it's unfair to think in that part. But, you know, we did things together, and it's no fun doing it by yourself. And a lot of you know that. There's quite a few people out there that are by themselves, or they've lost their significant other. You know, all of you or some of you went through the same things. And there's never enough time, and there's never a time you want to start anything, it seems like. I must be somewhat lazy. Because I was saying the other day, if I just could have her back, I'd be willing to do it all. And she could sit back. She could wear out my recliner or whatever she wanted to, and I could wait on her hand and foot, because it would be worth it. It would be. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Anyway, we've been able to say things today, and we've been, as we see it, you know, our opinions. And for the most part, everybody's really been good on here. So I really appreciate it, all of you guys out there, handling yourself as ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, my voice is getting a little croaky from talking. It's a good thing I wasn't yelling and screaming. Oh my goodness. Oh heck. But I will see you tonight if you're on Lisa's channel. Let's see. Oh, you can see the chat now that you're done driving. I didn't know you were driving, John. And I'm about to end this whole thing. But you'll be able to go back and look at the chat when you get home. Yeah. Thank you, Mother of Birds. I love all you guys out there, too. You guys helped me over some pretty rough times here in the last few months, believe me. And I know some of you are going through some tough personal times yourself. And I pray for everybody in the channel, hoping that the Lord will lessen your burdens. You know, there's more things to pray about now than there ever was before. And I guess we all need to get down on our knees sometimes and ask the Lord for help. I don't know how many others can know when we really need it the most, to tell you the truth. But I do appreciate all of you doing your best for the rough times that I've been in, but also the rough times everybody else has been in. So to all of you, have a good weekend if you can. And maybe tomorrow I'll be able to have a cup of coffee in the morning. I should have today, but I just had too many things going this morning. With that, I'm going to let you go. When? Right now.